The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello, welcome to the Sciforror Film Podcast, and we have a special edition for you, another interview, this time with somebody we've talked to before, John Babu. How are you doing?
I'm great, Andy. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the show once more.
Oh, it's great to have you. Great to have you back. Now, the reason we've got you back on is because you brought out the third instalment of your InTEXTigator series, which we reviewed a couple of shows ago. I mean, on the whole, I think we were pretty complimentary about it.
Good to hear.
No, I mean, the thing about it is that it's an interesting change to the way you did it, because in the first two films, it was just the AI doing the investigation. In this one, you had the AI working kind of alongside, but slightly in competition with an actual policewoman.
Right. So one of the reasons we did that was because the last time we filmed it, the pandemic restrictions were on, so we couldn't meet up. There were a lot less that we could do. This time the restrictions were eased, so we could do more things. That's one reason. The other one is Sherlock the AI is gaining from strength to strength. People are accepting it more, so the police service are giving it more high profile cases, so it's coming out to the open. So that's what one thing we tried to play around with, the aspect ratio. So now it seems as though it's coming to the world, it's now getting real, it's among us, right? That's what we tried to go with.
Right. Okay. So I mean, it was an interesting storyline going with the idea of an art theft rather than murder, which were the first two were kind of based around a murder and a missing person. So, I mean, what made you decide to do the art theft story?
So one of the reasons why I did that is because since it's an art theft, there's much less pending. It's not life or death, so to speak. Yeah. So I thought that if Sherlock is getting a case much more independently, then this would be a case that it could experiment. It would be entrusted to do it, because there's not that much pending. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is that the art gallery setting creates a lot of opportunities as a filmmaker. Art is something that humans are quite natural at perceiving. It's a very human attribute to enjoy and appreciate art. But to a machine, to Sherlock the AI, the Mona Lisa and let's say a crayon drawing made by a 3-year-old, it looks the same because art has no intrinsic purpose. So it was fascinating to juxtapose the human with the machine, so we could see the different approaches that they have and the different appreciation that both of them take away from art, right? That's one of the reasons why I pitted it in the art gallery setting here.
Yeah. No, I think it worked really well, and I think it worked well having them kind of working. As I say, I was never quite sure whether they were working alongside each other or if they were working against each other, if you know what I mean, trying to outdo each other.
I think that's a fair sort of suspicion, because they're supposed to be working independently. So one is not supposed to be affecting the other at all. But we know as humans, we are competitive by nature. So we probably have that at the back of our minds, even though a machine may not see that way. So it's not supposed to be a human versus machine, but inevitably that might seep into people's thinking. And that's expected and sort of intended in certain ways too.
Yeah.
This AI program. How does it work?
You wouldn't even notice the difference. can't really rely on technology, can you?
So, I mean, you've done 3 different parts of this now. What are your intentions with this? Are you planning on taking it on to making more, or are you planning on expanding on it and doing something bigger?
As of now, I've planned 5 films in total. So we just released part 3, 4, and 5 are coming, and then part 5 will be the finale of the series.
Okay.
I do know a certain direction that I want to take this, so I probably won't be doing more of this after that. So I'm not going to be milking the franchise or anything like that. And as a whole, the 5, when you watch it together, hopefully that my vision will come through more, and it'll be more comprehensive and cohesive as a whole. That's the whole hope when it comes, and it should be elevating the series again, hopefully, from just mere entertainment into a much more in-depth sort of commentary on machines in general and how it influences us, good and bad.
Yeah. No, I can see that it's a good platform for that sort of thing. Now, when we were discussing it, we both on the show and just among ourselves, me and Scott, we were saying about the fact that whilst we didn't think there was necessarily a way of making it into anything like a feature film or whatever, we could see it being developed into like a TV series or something of that nature. Because you have a thing with a different sort of crime every episode, and you can have it working with or on its own or with local police and that sort of thing. But I just wondered if you'd thought about going down that route at all, of like pitching it as a pilot for a series.
A TV series would be very apt for the format, I would guess. Yes. That is true. It's sort of like Black Mirror, although in Black Mirror it's more dystopian and more bleak, whereas my series hopefully is more balanced and would weigh in the pros and cons equally. At least that's my vision. I'm not interested in milking the series beyond its welcome, and I'm not a tech savvy person as well. This was just one idea I got, and I've heavily read up on it and so on. But 5-part series is what I have in mind, because I think that combined with all the 5, it would be a good whole, right? I don't have anything more to say after part 5, but it's a good idea. I think it would be good as a TV show because there's some potential for that 30-minute every episode. It does a different new case. Yeah.
Okay, so when do you reckon the parts 4 and 5 will be coming out?
It should be 1 to 2 years, but I'm making another one before I make part 4, another film that's completely independent of the InTEXTigator series. I wanted a break from the series before moving back to finish 4 and 5 together.
Fair enough.
So it should be end of 2022 or 2023. That's the max. 4 and 5 should release pretty much roughly the same time.
Okay. So what's the other project you're working on? Is that something? Is it science fiction or horror or anything like that at all?
It is science fiction. It's a philosophical / psychological sort of mystery / thriller. It has psychological concepts with human mind, and it's with optical illusions, right? Okay. Not to give too much away. It's optical illusions and some philosophical implications on what the image is versus what we perceive the image to be. That is sort of like the main thread of it. Yeah. And I'm almost going to shoot, maybe in like a week or so. I should start filming.
Oh, okay. So you think will that be out before the end of the year?
Yes, hopefully much. It's the summer here.
Okay.
So 3-4 months or so. Yeah.
Cool. Do you have a title yet, or are you?
Title?
Are you holding on to that? So you...
Oh no, it will be Optilus. It's short for optical illusions, and you'll start to see why it's titled that way when the film's released.
Yeah. Cool. So what about future? I mean, if you've got a definite end to the InTEXTigator series, you got this one you're doing this year. What do you want to do further than that?
So if you look at even within the InTEXTigator series, the first 2 were 10 minutes each, and the third one is around 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm slowly ramping it up. The feature is certainly what I hope to get to, maybe in like 5 years or so. But once again, as I mentioned this last episode, I was here as well. Feature is not something that you wake up one day and do it. So you need to plan things, and you need to sharpen your expertise one step at a time. And that's where I'm standing right now, baby steps. Hopefully I'll get there one day.
Well, I don't doubt it at all. I mean, are you going to stick to doing science fiction stuff? Is that where your kind of your love is as far as filmmaking is concerned?
I don't sit and plan on a genre, so whatever stories I come, it naturally comes out as the output. But so far, I've noticed that I've had a certain inclination towards sci-fi or mystery or thrillers. Hopefully, as I get more comfortable as a filmmaker, maybe I will move out of my comfort zone and do other genres as well. But at this stage, yes, it's all the ideas I'm getting are sci-fi or mystery thriller that around that neighborhood.
Cool. No, that sounds really good. I'm fascinated to see what you do, because I think that as far as the short films are concerned, it's very easy to make a short film that's just full of effects or full of jump scares or just full of, you know, things like that. It's not very easy to write to write a script or for a short film that has an interesting story and possibly a message to it and a certain amount of character development as well. And I think you've done that quite well with these films. You've shown that you can do that. So it'd be interesting to see what you do next.
Thank you. So yeah, I do put in effort. I do write the scripts, and I have consulting and doing research at it as well. In some ways, though, to defend the other side of people who do it without all these character development, plot development, etc. Short films are also meant to be for fun as well.
Yeah,
just loosen up a bit. Yeah. So it will be gatekeeping to say that every single short film should have all these factors, right? There are people who do it just. So there are no rules for it, but yes, I certainly am interested in more planned, good pre-production, and then go with it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've watched some fantastic and amazing short films while doing this podcast, and I have a great deal of respect. I've tried doing it myself, and I've been acted in short films and things, and I know just how much hard work goes into the making of short films. And I have the utmost respect for anybody who makes short films, because especially short films, because of the fact there's so little return for it a lot of the time.
So true.
But you know, I just think that it's nice to see somebody not only developing the story and the characters, but as you are sort of moving on, getting longer and longer, and moving your way towards doing a feature or whatever. And as I say, I'm just interested to see what the future brings with your films, because each time it's kind of a step on, and I'm just interested to see what comes next.
Sure. And a large part of it being true indie in every sense of the word is that we need the support from a lot of people who are volunteering their time without much pay or no pay at all sometimes. So I want to make a shout out to all the cast and crew who has helped me through this film and all my previous films and onwards too.
Yeah. I mean, it's the thing is that short films, quite often it's like we when I do interviews, I have people on here that are normally the directors, producers, or the director and an actor or something. But there's a lot of people involved in making a short film, and quite often they kind of get forgotten because they do just do it for fun, or for the experience of doing it, and or just because they're friends and they're willing to give up their time and energy. But they definitely deserve a shout out and a lot of respect. I as I say, I really enjoyed the stuff that I've seen of yours, and I look forward to seeing more of it. I really do.
Thank you. I'll certainly keep you posted. Yes.
Well, thank you for joining us. It's been great talking to you. It'd be nice to talk to you again once the last ones come out. Once all 5 of them are out, maybe we can get you back on again, and we'll talk about the whole series in one go.
Sure, I would love to be here. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yes,
that would be good. Thank you, John. So check out John's films. I'll put links up to his YouTube channel, and you can check them all out, and keep an eye out for what's coming in the future. Okay, and thank you very much for joining us, and see you later. Bye.
Thank you.
the Sciforror Film Podcast.